The story? No. The saga of Flint Battlehammer is a tale that spans the infinite vastness of time and the myriad dimensions of space. It is a story that at once defies and then reaffirms all logic and reason. Daunting, no? But as all things must, even the legendary exploits of Flint Battlehammer have small, humble beginnings. I was born a dwarven child into a family of wealthy merchant traders, the Battlehammer clan of Greyskull Cove. Raised in such a bustling port of call, I grew up on a steady diet of epic tales told me by the countless traders, seafarers, and adventurers who would pass through. Enthralled by the daring deeds of heroes past, I was struck by Adventure Cupid's arrow. Long ago, my great uncle Randor left our home to heed adventure's call, never to be seen again. The family believed him to be forever lost. But on the 120th anniversary of my birth, a mysterious package arrived, addressed to me. Within I found my uncle's adventure journal. If that wasn't a call to adventure, then I don't know what is. I left Greyskull Cove the very next day, and my life of adventure began. Over the years, I have seen countless lands and had many great adventures, some of which you will no doubt have heard of, like Flint Battlehammer in the Desert of Desolation, Flint Battlehammer in the Lost Caverns of Zojanth, Flint Battlehammer escapes the Isle of Dread, Flint Battlehammer in the Sinister Secrets of Salt Marsh, Flint Battlehammer marries the Spider Queen, Flint Battlehammer lost in the Tomb of Horrors, Flint Battlehammer against the cult of the Reptile God. They made me their king. Flint Battlehammer braves the Labyrinth of Madness, and Flint Battlehammer in the Dungeons of the Slave Lords. To name just a few. What's next for Flint Battlehammer, you ask? Subscribe to the Flint Battlehammer Junior Adventurers Club to receive my monthly newsletter, where I keep you up to date on all of my latest exploits, and where you can purchase copies of your favorite Battlehammer adventures, ballads, and other assorted merch. Adventure!
My name is Kaeya Chase, and I am cursed. No, not in that magical, haunted by evil spirits way. I am cursed with the talent for stealing, lying, and killing. I grew up on the streets of Overlook. Well, not the streets per se. Our house was on a street. My father was never really around, and while Mom did her best, we never had that much. I learned at a very young age that people would just believe whatever I told them, even if it wasn't true. I also found out that I am very adept at stealing things. For many years, I abused these skills. I got in with a local gang of hooligans, and they used my talents for evil. Kaeya, go distract that merchant. Kaeya, go pickpocket that priest. For a long time, I ignored my conscience telling me that I was doing bad things. I had money and food and friends, but one day it went too far. We were robbing a foundry, and the smith caught my friend Tornir. He was swinging his hammer at him, and I just reacted. I sunk my dagger, the dagger I had only ever used to cut rope and peel apples, into the back of the smith. My friends were also grateful and supportive, but I knew that I could not do this anymore. Yes, it was defense of a friend, but we were robbing him. We were the criminals. We were the bad guys. I want to help people, not hurt them. Mom had died a few years before, so I really had nothing holding me there. I packed up my belongings and left the city, traveling east into the Elsir Vale. I spent a long time just walking and staying away from people, but I was almost out of food and I had no one left, no one to protect me. And suddenly, there was a gregarious dwarf who came seemingly from nowhere, and I had a friend again. Now I have more friends and a new purpose, to protect innocent people, not hurt them.
Matarak was just a whelp in his parents' arms as political upheaval rocked the shores of Methus and Corthus, forcing his grandfather and parents to flee Kryn with him and a band of their kin through an extraplanar portal and stranding themselves in the Elsir Vale. The newly splintered clans were then forced to settle across the landscape. Matarak's family had just finished settling down roots in the Giant Shield Mountains when Tiamat's Red Hand army began burning their way across the land. Having grown attached to the peoples of Elsir Vale, Matarak's caregivers took up arms in the struggle and survived the campaign to see it through to its painful but victorious end. Despite the Red Hand's defeat, Matarak's family never stopped fearing Tiamat's ever-looming threat. As a result, Matarak was educated by the best scholars and trained in the Minotaur's ancestral art of rune knighthood with the sole purpose of defending the Vale from the Red Hand's inevitable return. Matarak accepted the teaching and training, but rejected the cause, for he had seen firsthand the persistent anxiety of a new but never arriving war shorten the lifespans of his elders. His refusal to shoulder that same fear and fight the battles of his forefathers carved a rift not just with his family, but also from the regimented Minotaur life. Matarak now aids the people of the Vale any way he can, and carves his own path in the only home he's ever known.
My name is Lupmotin Donella Nackalturin, but you can call me Nilly. I grew up in the Stonehome Mountains near Borden's Watch with my mother and father, 2 grandmothers and 2 grandfathers, 1 great-grandmother, 7 aunts and 9 uncles, 23 cousins and 4 little brothers. Ever since I was little, I have loved reading about bold adventurers. The scholar lady Mira Stelberg came to our village each season throughout my childhood, and on one visit she gave me my first ever adventure book, Flint, Battlehammer, and the Desert of Desolation. I was instantly hooked. In her continuing visits, she has taught me about magic and history and shared more stories of brave heroes with me. I never thought I'd get a chance to go on an adventure myself, but I recently found myself in Rivenroar trying to uncover more of the history, and well, look at me now.
I am Pericles of the Red Knights. Born in Brindle to a family of clerics in the faith of Her Lady the Red Knight, I was drawn to the family trade of the cloth in service of the Red Knight, and in doing so have dedicated my life to training so that, when the war eventually returns to the Vale, I shall be ready to take up arms to defend her. I have spent much of my developing years in service of the Red Knights as a cleric in one of her many temples across the Vale, and have preached her teachings, as well as trained many who would see themselves strengthened so they might defend this land with us. We go for drinks after, so we might strengthen our camaraderie. And the temple has a strong outreach program for street urchins looking for a change or to help find guidance. I believe that the war is coming, and my devotion will be the Red Knight's greatest weapon.
I am Verigan of the Erdos Goliath clan. Centuries ago, my ancestors carved our homeland into the giant shield mountains. We have devoted those centuries to study, advancement, and training, to master the binding laws of the universe. All of us train in the arcane arts, and of course I am good. But my clan deny other forms of combat or power. I knew I was onto something when they got worried. But I had no idea they would cast me out. Rude. However, it could have been worse. For it was on that journey when I found the power that had eluded me while I was held back by the rules. Now? Now I feel twice as strong.